We're live. All right. Let me set the tone.
If you want to win, you got to make shots.
Well, he's not wrong.
Playing defense, that's easy.
Just Alexander, double team. He turns, he pumps, got fouled by Durant.
That's easy. We can get any one of y'all in here to bend your legs, not touch the basketball, slide left and right, and contest the shot. That's easy.
Okay. He's really wrong. And we are back on Hump Day Rants after the opening night of the new NBA season. Please welcome my co-host, your favorite ranter, sports and fitness Rants.
Oh my goodness. You have to be kidding me. Sometimes karma comes back and sometimes the universe works out in your favor and it drops something right in your lap. Once again, thank you, Kevin Durant, for opening your mouth and giving us what we just saw. Thank you very much, and thank you very much to all you guys. Once again, man, we are back, man. Me and Nazar, the video footage, and the video footage is going to come back today. Yes, my friends, we got a great one, man. I want to shout out to all you guys, as always, for coming through and supporting our live streams, man. It really means a lot, guys. So shout out to my man, King Speech Roll. I see you out there. Shout out to Rob Lane. I see you out there. Shout out to Dakota Brock. Shout out to my man, Max Miller. Shout out to my man, The Catch. Shout out to you for coming through. Of course, McZuggins, Renee43, Cruz, New York to CA is in the building. Shout out to all you guys, my man, Import, Rookie 305, old school NBA fans in the building, Ghetto Pranks, Go Fly, Cali Young. Shout out to you guys, man. You guys know the deal, baby. Let's roll.
We have a very full show. I'm going to read a list of things. I'm not going to spend any time on them, and we'll come back to them.
Shout out to my man, Andre Carter. Shine, I see you out there, man. What up, guys?
Durant experiences instant karma. Of course, we'll talk about that a little bit more. I don't like the starting five show. I assume that soundbite is from starting five?
Yes.
Okay, and I've got 7 different downloading softwares that I use when
hold on, AOH. Hold on a second. The Real Siberius is saying you don't have your chat available. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, man. Keep going.
I can see them all. You obviously can see them.
Yes, I can see his chats.
Oh, he means in YouTube, perhaps. Oh, God. Just stop fucking with me, YouTube. I can't fucking take... Honest, I stayed up all night trying to download footage. All 7 of my software items are failing. All right. Talk to them then. While I figure this shit out. Or I'll finish reading the list and then you can talk to them, okay?
Yeah, go ahead. Keep doing your thing. I'm sorry, man.
God damn it. Fuck you, YouTube. What the actual F is a foul? This is inspired from me watching Luka Doncic. What the actual F is an illegal screen. I spent a lot of last season looking at the crazy illegal screens that weren't called, and suddenly last night, illegal screens were being called. What the actual F is a charge, and I don't just mean we don't know. I don't think the refs know. The refs called traveling one time, and I think it was the time that it wasn't traveling. Durant calling the timeout and not being penalized for it.
Yep.
Michael Jordan's little intro interview.
Okay.
The Warriors roster. Gary Payton II, Jimmy Butler, Vanderbilt versus Draymond. Austin Reeves, like him or not. Luka's foul calls, I already said that. Welcome Noah fucking Eagle with his successful audition during the Suck Off Olympics. Now he does have his spot. Grant Hill was making me kind of depressed. And now that I've put that on the table, I'm sure you have a lot more to add. Go ahead. Tell me what's burning in your mind the most while I try and fix whatever the hell's wrong with comments.
Well, I think someone said that you're on kid mode, on children mode, maybe, or child mode, maybe. I don't know, something like that. Someone said maybe. I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm looking.
But based off of what you just said, this is a great rundown. We have to try to get to all of these things that you just mentioned because, like I said, last night the universe provided for us. Like I was telling everybody in my video this morning, it just works out this way sometimes. Like I said, when Kevin Durant comes out on Starting Five and they air that episode and it starts becoming, a viral type of deal, when you have Kevin Durant laughing at defense, essentially talking about how easy defense is, and when he says bend your knees and slide your feet, the disrespect that he's giving to the guys in the history of the NBA that are known for being defensive guys, that gave effort on defense consistently, that made great plays. I mean, think about Larry Bird's steal against Isaiah Thomas in the clutch in the Eastern Conference Finals. If Larry Bird doesn't make that play, who knows if they even win that series? That was one of the all-time great defensive plays because Larry Bird's not known as a great on-ball or lockdown defender one-on-one per se, but what Larry Bird had was obviously the IQ on the defensive end, but he was an excellent team defender and help defender. That's what he understood. So in that moment, he made a high IQ play. Think about Michael Jordan in Game 6 in 1998. What's the key play there? The key play is the steal from Karl Malone. But not only the steal, it was the fact that he stole it without fouling Karl Malone. When you see that play in super slow motion that we've all have, that's a clean strip. He does not foul Karl Malone in that play. That's a key play, man. Defense matters. So when you say, anyone can bend the knees and slide the feet, are you kidding me? No, anyone can't do that. And defense is not easy.
He didn't just say anyone. He said any of you all. Who's he talking to? The Netflix documentary team? Those guys can play defense?
Well, in my initial thoughts on those specific comments, I said he's probably talking about the guys like an Andre Roberson or a Thabo Sefolosha, some of these guys that were playing those roles on the Oklahoma City Thunder when they were really, really good before he left. When I think about Andre Roberson, I mentioned this in the video. In the Western Conference Finals in 2016, he actually shot a higher percentage from the three-point line than Kevin Durant did. So when you talk about these guys just bending their feet, bending their knees and sliding their feet, not only did Andre Roberson do that in the Western Conference Finals, but he was also knocking down the shots when he had the opportunities. When guys kicked it out to him and he took the shots, he was knocking it down at a higher percentage than Kevin Durant was in those moments. So the guys that he needed to do their jobs did their jobs and then some, and Kevin Durant did not come through.
Oh, I don't think I read this one, but skills. Is shooting a skill? Ladies and gentlemen, everyone watching, is shooting a skill? How the fuck? I was listening to your rant. How does one team go like 2 for a zillion and the other team goes 4 for a gillion zillion? And we're talking about it being the more skilled era. And it's the 3-point shooting era. Come on. You not only can't dribble anymore, you can't shoot either. And that's the 3-pointer. They're scared to death of the mid-range. Don't even start on the mid-range. These dudes get stuck somewhere between the paint and the 3-point, and they're like, oh, fuck.
No, you're absolutely right. You're on the money, AOH. Like I said, when we're talking about the shooting, you just mentioned a gazillion shots. They actually missed, combined, the Houston Rockets and the Oklahoma City Thunder combined to miss over 60 threes last night. Over 60 threes, guys. I'm not exaggerating that. That's the facts. Go look it up. That was combined between OKC and the Rockets. The Oklahoma City Thunder took 52 threes last night, which is really uncharacteristic for how they play the game. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander shot 9 threes and was 1 for 9. That's not normally his game. But I mentioned this in my video, and you mentioned the shooting percentages. How is his skill? You're telling me the guys from the 90s couldn't go out there and take 90 threes and miss 60 of them? They absolutely can do this. But when you talk about what these guys were doing, and I said, it's not just about them taking all these threes all the time and missing all these threes. It's the kinds of guys that are taking these shots. Like I mentioned, you got guys out here like my man Lou Dort. This guy Lugans Dort, right? No knock on him. He's a 3-and-D guy, supposed to be a 3-and-D guy, can't shoot. This man was 0 for 8 dude, why are you shooting 8 threes in an NBA game? So like I said, when you went 0 for 4, you thought to yourself, hey, man, I'm open. Let me shoot the 5th one. Then after you missed the 5th one, you thought to yourself, hey, I'm open. Let me shoot the 6th one. After you missed the 6th one, they kicked it out to you. You were open. You say, hey, let me shoot the 7th one. Where's the basketball IQ from these guys? Where's the thought process? Where's you putting pressure on the defense by pump faking, making a move to the rim, closing up the space, making a play? You can't just keep chucking threes up. You're not a shooter, dude. But that's what you got to watch last night. And I'm not saying it was a bad game. I enjoyed the game in the second half and the overtimes. They had some really good moments, man. And SGA, to his credit, he came through in the clutch, man. But damn it, you had dudes like Amen Thompson, same thing, 0 for 7 from three-point range last night. Why is Amen Thompson shooting 7 threes when Kevin Durant shot 4? Oh, by the way, he missed all 4.
Okay. So obviously you're calling out the players. It's like, hey, at some point, wake up. This is not working for you. When do we shift that blame to the coaches? Because I have a terrible feeling that the coaches are saying, just keep shooting, just keep. In fact, we actually heard JJ Redick say that. So no coaches are willing to move away from this. Is it that?
Remember, the Players League now.
Is the fact that 3 is more than 2 that profound that you can't, that they just won't go back to, yeah, but 2 is a higher quality than the 3. Hey, let me read Beer and Joints, our Bulgarian friend. KD had more turnovers than shots in the 4th and overtime. Well, he's filling in for LeBron. We couldn't make fun of LeBron. KD did an impression of LeBron. Thank you.
Yeah, a shout out to Uncut Hoops. He just dropped a video earlier on, and basically he talks about last night. He covers last night and Kevin Durant. A great video once again from Uncut Hoops. And he talked about the second half performance by Kevin Durant. Like they're mentioning, the turnovers versus shots taken. See, I've mentioned my video about Kevin Durant and why I don't consider him one of the elite scorers of all time. As far as like if I thought like the top 3 or 5 scores in NBA's history, I'm not thinking of Kevin Durant. And the reason why I don't is because to me, he doesn't have the mentality, the mindset of the all-time elite great scorers that you have to have. You have to be willing sometimes to just keep running at that wall. Sometimes they need you to put shots up. Like I said, how does Amen Thompson take more shots overall than Kevin Durant, but he took 7 threes and Kevin Durant took 4? I just don't understand how Kevin Durant in the second half just doesn't take shots. He's out there playing backseat and second and third, fourth fiddle to some of these. I mean, they had the dude, what's his name? Reed coming off the bench. And like he was taking more and seemed to be more aggressive than Kevin Durant did. So when I think about the great scorers and why I don't consider Kevin Durant like those guys like a Jordan or a Kobe, some of the great scorers, the Jerry West, the Allen Iversons, man. Like I said, some of these guys that will just keep coming after you. Kevin Durant won't do that. He's okay with scoring 23 points and taking 16 shots or whatever he took. He's okay with that. And that's not going to get it done sometimes.
Let me play another soundbite that I want to rant about.
You got to make shots.
I got to play it again and make it bigger.
You want to win. You got to make shots.
What's the fucking pause about? What's the dramatic pause about? What does he think he's about to say something really, really fucking smart? And fuck Netflix for going with it. And fuck the dramatic background music that's actually telling the audience, wow, this guy's saying some real shit here. No. In fact, it's been a clown show of every single one of these assholes that they put on there for an interview. Oh, what a terrible, terrible, terrible show.
Yeah, that's great, man. My man said, F Netflix, man. How dare y'all put this stuff out? This is not, like you said, he's saying something profound. And listen, man, Kevin Durant can shoot the ball. He can knock shots down. No one's ever denied this. This is what the one thing that Kevin Durant does at an elite level is knock down shots. No doubt about it. So when he's promoting that aspect of winning, it makes sense to me. The problem with Kevin Durant is what he says and the way he says it. Like I said, when you say anyone, or we can get any, like you said, any of y'all to come in here and bend your knees and slide your feet, like I say, it's a slap in the face to all the great defensive players and all the guys who gave effort on defense. The guys that I was talking about, I was watching growing up. I used the word consistency with those guys, right? They weren't perfect, man. They weren't flawless, but they were consistently showing up and giving the effort and competing. And on the defensive end, that's what, that's how you show and really, show that you're giving the effort is on the defensive end, because not everyone's going to be an elite defensive player. But the one thing that you should always be able to do is give that effort, man. And a lot of these guys, like he said, I'm too cool to play defense, man. I'm Kevin Durant. And that's why I love the way it came. Think about it, guys. It was a double overtime game on opening night, off the heels of these comments. And in the last play, you have the best player from OKC versus the best player in Houston on an island, one-on-one, where you cannot put your money where your mouth is. All you got to do is play defense for one stop. No one told you to play for a quarter, a half, a full game. You needed 10 seconds of defense, and you got cooked up. You played solid defense to a point where you overextended yourself. And you had you on skates, and you cheated and you got caught because you left your feet. A basic principle in basketball, you never leave your feet, and Kevin Durant did that.
Let's hear from Socrates again.
You want to win. You got to make shots.
Now let me try. If the ball doesn't go through the rim, the shot doesn't count. Holy shit, y'all.
I'm blown.
I just gave you some free advice.
Man, when you just did that, it made me, and when I thought about Kevin Durant and what he said, it made me think about that scene from that movie. It's like Forgetting Sarah Marshall, I think it's called. And there's a scene when he's there with Paul Rudd, right? And he's trying to give him like some worldly advice, and he's talking about, you got to get up to be down. And he's like, what? He's like, no, don't get up. You have to pump up, get up. And he doesn't make any sense. He doesn't know what he's saying. That's Kevin Durant, man.
Oh, the surfing training.
That's the surfing training.
Yeah, or Paul Rudd's high out of his mind, doesn't even know what he's saying.
He has no clue. And he's trying to tell him, and he's laying on the surfboard there, and he's like, no, well, you can't just lay there because you're laying down. He's like, well, you told me don't move. He's like, well, no, you have to move. You have to get up. He's like, well, you said don't move.
Let me catch some supers here. By the way, Siberius or McZuggins or whoever it was, thanks for the lookout. I don't know why. I never, ever have chosen my videos to be for kids. I don't know why this switch is changing, but thank you for catching that. I fixed it. Xavier says, you guys should check out Ryan Davis's KD roast. I'm not familiar. Are you?
Yeah, I'm not. I was about to say I'm not too familiar with. Maybe he's a YouTuber, maybe a content creator, maybe I'm not sure, or if he's some kind of guy who has a podcast, maybe.
5 memberships to AOH on Discord available. Oh, Siberius really wants me to try Discord.
Oh wow.
Okay. Well, that's one way to do it, dude. Good for you. I'm struggling with Patreon as it is. Oh shit! And the chats just went flying by on the screen. So there was Xavier. You see any other ones? There's McZuggins, and here is Praise the Dawn. Salute AOH and SNFR. Salute back to you, Mr. Dawn.
Yeah, shout out to Praise the Dawn, always coming through. Like I said, the true supporters, you guys are always coming through. And like I said, when you talk about that game last night for Kevin Durant, like I said, he's making these kinds of comments, and he's just been the way he's been over the last several years, how sensitive he's been and how, like I said, lack of impact. We laugh about LeBron James having a negative plus minus. Well, Kevin Durant had a negative plus minus last year also. And, a lot of people don't mention that as much. And he got this contract extension, even though he was a negative, whatever he was last season. He got another $90 million. Kevin Durant's the highest paid player in NBA's history. But one of the things that we didn't even touch on that was a laughable moment for Kevin Durant is that Kevin Durant tried to call timeout. So when they had no timeouts. So not only did Kevin Durant brick up a free throw like you showed and highlighted at the beginning of the show in the closing moments, which allowed SGA to come down and tie the game and send it to overtime.
Yep.
Because remember, the Houston Rockets were up by 1, and Kevin Durant went to the line for 2 free throws and missed the first one. But not only did you have that happen, on the ensuing play, like I just mentioned, when SGA comes down and hits the game-tying shot and they get the ball inbounded, there's only a couple of seconds, and Kevin Durant attempts to call timeout when they had no timeouts on the books. Now, I think all of us understand and remember Chris Webber, right? A lot of basketball fans remember that scene and Chris Webber taking a lot of heat because it was a big-time moment, right? It's a national championship, man. Like, my goodness, I remember when that happened. I remember everybody remembers that moment. So when you talk about having a Chris Webber moment, we're not talking about that magnitude. It was the first game of opening night of an 82-game season. We're talking about that as far as Kevin Durant, the way he talks about himself, right? And he talks about how skilled he is and how much of a high IQ these guys have and how skilled these guys are. And this is the greatest era of NBA. When these guys don't even know something that simple as not having a timeout. It was actually so funny because his teammate, Sengun, if I'm saying his name wrong, almost tackles Kevin Durant trying to get his hands down away from the referees because this man was going timeout like crazy.
So, but imagine if the refs had chosen not to acknowledge Chris Webber calling that timeout and they let him off the hook. You know, they save his ass because they don't call it. You know, do you think that all those refs didn't see what Kevin Durant was doing? Which brings up the question, are refs obligated to acknowledge the timeout request? I would have to think so. So it sets a precedent. So now people, if refs are going to do this shit and bail players out by not acknowledging when they incorrectly call a timeout, then just go around calling timeouts all fucking night. Maybe it'll work in your favor. Yep. As long as you're not going to get penalized, maybe it's going to work out. You're not getting penalized for chucking up 3-point shots anymore either when the time clock's running out. Are there going to be any penalties for making bad decisions left in the NBA?
Right. And see, and I didn't mention the referees not acknowledging it in that moment. What I was highlighting is Kevin Durant and a lot of these guys and NBA players, their lack of understanding where they are in the game. Like I said, what's going on? You know, what's the scenario? What's the game situation? These great players, they keep telling us are so skilled and so smart. And, you know, the guys in the past, they were just plumbers and taxi cab drivers. So what you're trying to say is that their intelligence is not, you know, that great as far as basketball because they weren't really basketball players. But then in these kinds of moments, you don't know something that simple. Like I said, where your teammate has to come over and almost tackle you. So he was obviously aware of the repercussions for what Kevin Durant was trying to do. And he had no idea, Kevin Durant. He's in la-la land, Kevin Durant. Because what's going on in Kevin Durant's mind? Kevin Durant's mind is he don't care. He's a god of basketball. He could do no wrong.
Yeah, that's not a very good time to not be aware of what's happening. Y'all may not realize this, but if you don't score any points, you can't win the game. Very profound. What is best in life? McZuggins says real offense requires dramatic pause, real practice. Oh boy, we have LBJ King for life talking about LeBron when we aren't. Don't you people ever give us shit for talking about LeBron James when we finally leave it alone and you all got to come in here saying nonsense about LeBron's played his whole life with trash. You moron. Don't do it. Resist. Don't.
But we were going off for 30 minutes on Kevin Durant and laughing at him, and he's saying in the comments, y'all are haters. Dude, tell us what you need us to speak about that would make you happy. You're a weird dude, man. I tell you just are weird. No one's even mentioning LeBron James, and my man's there still crying. It's weird stuff.
It's weird. I don't know. That's really the best word for it. Disturbing.
Talking about different topics and subjects.
Patreon, not Discord. Sorry, my brain sucks. Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Siberius. I was about to get really overwhelmed with technology there. I can't even download videos anymore. I don't know what the fuck's that. I think it's time to hang it up.
Oh, maybe I don't know. I guess I don't know about this kind of stuff, man. There's too many platforms now. That's the problem. There's too many damn options, man. You don't know what to do. It's like you go to the grocery store now. I remember back in the day, man, you wanted some ketchup, you go and get some ketchup. You go there now, the ketchup aisle is insane. It's like a jungle, man. You don't even know what to do there. That's why I tell people, you got to read food labels now. You got to look at stuff. You don't know what it is. It's like ketchup mixed with something else now. It's not even called ketchup now. It's called something different. It's crazy the amount of selections that you have available to you out here sometimes. And these kinds of things are the same, man. So many different options. You don't know what to do. You just want something simple. Go ahead. Go to the. I mean, it's not even just. Ketchup is a simple example. It's all over the aisles like that. It makes it hard for people to know what to buy. I tell people all the time, I know it's not easy to go to the supermarket or go to the store and read a food label and look at things like that. You know, my wife hates when I go because I make her take longer than she wants to take. You know, because sometimes I'm standing there and I'm like, listen, I really want to get something here, but I don't know what the hell to get. I mean, this is crazy right now.
Well, if anyone wants to chime in on the fouls, did you know Luka kept getting praised for changing speed, changing pace? Robin, I got to ask you, when you play defense against people in basketball, whether it was professional or whether it was, not professional, but whether it was on the pickup court or whether or not it was in high school, and you're doing this, do you not ever make contact? Like, is there a rule that you guys have to have space in between you? Or do you two not like bump bodies as he's driving to the hoop?
Absolutely.
What the fuck is happening? I'm seeing guys, and I'm not defending because it's the Warriors, like just going like this. And as long as Luka touches his chest to them, he's getting a whistle. But I don't understand what the fuck allowable defense is. Is this fall under the freedom of movement rule that doesn't exist but keeps being enforced randomly? And I'm sorry I don't have the footage to show everyone. I tried many times. I don't know what the hell's going on. But you know what I'm talking about? If you guys watch the games, you got to know what I'm talking about.
Let's see. This is the thing.
Did you see the illegal screen change? Did you see that all of a sudden they started calling illegal screens and they aren't nearly as bad as what they were getting away with last year? Did you notice that change?
Like I said, I watched the entire second half and overtimes of the first game, and I did not see.
Oh, you didn't watch the Warrior game?
No, because the Warrior game started when I was getting ready to go to sleep, man. I'm in New York.
That's the one I'm talking about. Okay.
No, yeah. So, that's why I had asked you, before we came on, if you actually watched that game, because I know that I had a great insight for the first game because I watched the first game. Because, like I said, it was on my side of the country anyway. Anyway, the thing of, like, I didn't see those calls in that game. Also, the chucking at the end of a quarter or a half, I didn't really see that come into play. Maybe I missed it, but I didn't really see that come into play. And the new rule with the high five rule, where if you go for a shot and the guy hits your hand, I didn't really see that come into play. Now, SGA, who people will say is a guy who, based for free throws, I guess similar to a Luka Doncic. See, the thing with Luka Doncic, I think that we've all have noticed or realized about him is that, yeah, he's got game, man. No one's denied his abilities. But it comes at, the cost of him. Like, it's hard to watch him, in my opinion. Not saying that his game is not like that, but oftentimes, and over the last several years, he, to me, was a whiner. I looked at him as a guy that was always whining. So, right. So that takes away from your entertainment value, does it not? It absolutely does. That's what we talk about. A lot of these LeBron James teams, they're hard to just watch overall, not just because of LeBron James, but because they all become like LeBron James. Look at Austin Reeves, for an example. It's hard to watch that dude. So you have both of them dudes on the team now. And everyone's got their palms up, their shoulders shrugged. Everyone looks confused when something happens. I was watching the game again, like I said, the first game, and this guy Sengun, who I respect his game, but he was bothering me a little bit sometimes at the ends of that game because it was a tight game. And all of a sudden, this guy started feeling a certain type of way. Dude, you're being guarded by Alex Caruso. Calm down and stop acting like you're being hounded by some big dude. And he was all over, like he just looked like he was doing a lot of like looks and weird stuff to me that makes me like, dude, just play the game, dude. Play the game. You guys are supposed to be nice like this. That's what I'm saying. Like, when I play, you mentioned the streets. When I play, you talk about defense. When I play the game, and I've mentioned this before, I don't call fouls. I ain't out here worrying about this stuff, man. You ain't got time to be worrying about dudes slapping you on the wrist. Yeah, there's been many times that I played a pickup game where I went for a shot at the end of the game. Maybe it's point game, and I'm going for a shot, and a dude rakes me in the arm, and I clearly missed the shot because I was clearly fouled. But I ain't calling it, man. I play the game. I ain't got time for this stuff. These dudes are always looking for a foul. Play the damn game, man.
Yeah, I always felt super, super awkward if I felt tempted to call a foul. I'm like, I really should be calling this foul, but I still didn't because it just feels gross.
Yo, shout out to my man KC70058 who said Robin never stays on topic. Thank you very much. You are absolutely right. I ramble on sometimes. I know it. Shout out to you guys. Thank you.
Gun. Damu brings us on topic. At least I have it on my list. And did you watch Jordan's interview? I can't find a full interview online. Well, it's out there. Tura was talking about Jordan feeling nervous shooting a free throw because he didn't want to disappoint a child. Well, yeah, that stood out to me too. And I heard Uncommon Sense talk about it. And this is why in my notes it says Michael Jordan sounded authentic. Because what do these front runners do? They act like nothing bothers them, even when they're visibly shaken. They're like, "Oh no, man, I didn't even notice that dude." After they just finished like a fight and cussing him out, shit, they ain't know. Like, who? The guy you just tried to get in a fight with, dipshit. Don't try to play cool. They all do this. Anyway,
Yep.
Jordan's willing to admit that after not picking up a ball in a while and he's got to perform for a kid, that it got to him a little bit. And you know what? Of course it did, Mr. Competitive, Mr. I've got to put on a show, the guy who felt obligated to bring it for the fans. It makes sense. It's consistent with his personality type, right? It doesn't sound made up. Of course it bothered him. And of course he made it. So the honesty, there's so little honesty that alone has caused people to super chat about it or just be like, oh, wow, it's nice. It's nice. That's how bad things are. Wait, I don't know. I don't know why they bother with interviews anymore. I'm like, nothing that comes out of anyone's mouth is going to be authentic. It all sounds the same. Maybe swap a couple of words in the script around. Take it. I know you got something to say about this.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about this for a little bit. Like you said, this brings us back onto another topic that we had on the list. So let's go through it. I think, when Michael Jordan was talking about, shout out to Gundam U for coming through with the super. Like I said, always coming through. And talking about this, not wanting to disappoint the kid. Michael Jordan mentioned, right, that the parents of these children have talked me up, right? That's what he was saying. They talked me up in a way that now the pressure's on me to be Michael Jordan at all times. Michael Jordan has talked about this many times. When you leave a legacy like that of excellence as a standard, remember, Michael Jordan is the standard. I know he won't say that. And, that's not how he views himself, publicly, right? But he is viewed by the masses in our country as the standard of basketball. He's the standard of competition, of what you should want to be as far as competitive sports. It's not about us liking or wanting to raise our children like Michael Jordan raised his kids, or be a husband like Michael Jordan's a husband, or be a human being like, it's not about that. Sometimes people get confused. And I tell people, Michael Jordan don't owe me a damn thing out here. Nothing. When he talks about that pressure, man, that's real right there. Like you said, he's always authentic and he's always been real, Michael Jordan. That's what makes him who he is. And when he talks about the disappointment or not wanting to disappoint, that speaks to your competitiveness. Because it's a big deal to Michael Jordan to go out there and do that kind of stuff. He wants to be Michael Jordan. What did Michael Jordan also say? Gundam, you said they didn't hear the whole thing. He also talked about how he wished there was a pill he could take that he can go out there and put the shorts on. He'd go lace them up. And he'd go out there and show them what good basketball really looks like. And when you think about what he said and he talks about that, that's Michael Jordan right there.
Yeah, it's got to be hard for someone who took the game that seriously to actually have Father Time catch you. I'm sure it
Right.
eats them up. Real Siberia says, what do you guys think about the new high five rule? Well, as Robin said, we didn't see much of that last night, or at least he didn't. I didn't notice too much of it. I did see, I got to tell you, I didn't really like, well, you didn't see it because you, and I don't have the footage for you, but Jimmy Butler kicked out and made contact with Marcus Smart on a 3-pointer. And it was called a foul on Marcus Smart, and they actually tried to challenge it and make it an offensive foul on Butler. I don't think it should have been either one. I don't think it should have been a call. Period. It like his foot like got his shorts or something, and then they said that Marcus Smart moved into the landing zone, which seems to be getting bigger and bigger. So I didn't see the high five thing. I did see that in terms of 3-pointers, and I wasn't thrilled about it. I don't know. What do you guys think that watched the game? And what do you guys think who watched the game between this new dude on the Lakers? Apparently, it's his third season. Jake LaRavia. He looks like he can play. Whether he can or can't, would you take Jake LaRavia or Podzimski?
Yeah, like you said, you have to wait and see. Like you said, it's Podzimski's been there for a couple of years and has established himself on the Warriors and for what they want him and need him to do on that team. So he's invaluable to them. I mean, listen, like I said, I didn't watch the full game of the Warriors game of the Jimmy Butler and what they did or whatever. But when you talk about Jimmy Butler getting like 16 or 17 free throws, see, these are the types of games that Jimmy Butler had. Those are Jimmy Butler games. When people look at Jimmy Butler and they be, oh, Jimmy Butler put up 30 plus. More often than not, in those games that he scored like that, he had a high volume at the free throw line. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing or that's a knock against him. That's what Jimmy Butler does. That's what he does. That's when you need him to be Jimmy Butler. Putting pressure on the defense, drawing fouls against guys, putting the other team in the bonus, right? Getting your whole team now at the free throw line. This is what he does when he's doing Jimmy Butler things and impacting the game also on the defensive end. That's what he was known for doing. If he can do those kinds of things, then like I said, he's going to obviously help them. Steph Curry didn't have a Steph Curry-esque game where he was sensational. He was Steph Curry. He was out there. He was on the court. And that's all he needs to do because look what you got out there. You got Draymond. What did Draymond Green do? What did Draymond Green do? Draymond Green does what Draymond Green does too, right? This is what you get when you have Steph Curry out there. Everyone else is going to be able to do their jobs and do what they have to. As long as that man's out there. What do you have, 23 points last night? That wasn't a sensational, Steph Curry was raining threes everywhere. No, he was out there on the court, man, just being a leader of the Warriors. And Jimmy Butler helped him out right there and took lead last night. And he did a sensational job.
See, to your point, Jimmy Butler had the team high, but the eye test wasn't really there for me. Like watching the game, I wouldn't have thought he had the team high. I just wasn't terribly impressed.
Look what his impact is.
Sure.
Like I said, when he has those high-scoring games, that's how he does it. Jimmy Butler's not a guy who's going to go out there and take 25, 26, 27 shots, put up a bunch of shots, and score 35, 40 points. If he's scoring 35 or 40, it's because he's out there maybe taking 17 shots, maybe 18 shots, and he's making like 10 of them, but he's getting to the free throw line 13, 14, 15 times. And that puts a lot of pressure on a team like the Lakers. Look what they had him doing last night. They had Gabe Vincent guarding Jimmy Butler. Gabe Vincent,
he was guarding Steph too.
People think that I'm out here just rambling, and I know that I go off topic sometimes, but I'm educating people. I'm giving you the facts here. What I noticed last night in the OKC-Houston game is OKC Thunder should have won that game handily in the fourth quarter from what I was watching, all right? But essentially, they had Alex Caruso, like I mentioned, guarding Alperen Sengun. Alex Caruso is 6'4", guys, 190 pounds. That's what he's listed at. Sengun is listed at 6'11", 245. How in the world are they guarding each other in the fourth quarter in the clutch? This is the same guy Caruso was going to Nikola Jokic in the clutch in the Western Conference Finals last year. I don't get these defensive switches. There's no positions now. They had Lou Dort, who's 6'4", guarding 6'11" Kevin Durant in the clutch. He's one of the elite defenders in the NBA. Lou freaking Dort. It's no knock on him. He's been in the league for almost 6 years now. He's made one all-defensive team last season. And you're 6'5" guarding Kevin Durant in the clutch? We don't have no one to guard Kevin Durant that's 6'7", that's 6'8". I don't understand this stuff. Everyone that they have guarding, like I said, you had Jimmy Butler being guarded by Gabe Vincent. That's not a good strategy, JJ Redick.
And it's funny you mentioned that because I was just thinking about how big those teams are. So they should have had some people to guard in the Rockets and Thunder game. I mean, Steven Adams was like an add-on to the other big dudes. And who all did they have on the Thunder? Obviously, Kevin Durant is 7 foot. Hartenstein is 7 foot.
Wait, you're talking about the Thunder? Durant's on the Thunder?
Huh?
You said the Thunder?
Oh, no, I'm going back. I'm sorry. I'm combining both teams with all the 7-footers that were out there. But sure, the Thunder.
The Lakers? You said the Lakers?
No. The Thunder and the Rockets.
Yeah, I think the Rockets had Clint Capella.
Holmgren.
Right, you have Holmgren out there. Like you said, you had Hartenstein you had out there. You had Sengun out there. Like I said, he's like 6'11". So you have some bodies out there. But like I said, you also have the other guys. Like you had Jabari Smith Jr. out there, right? He's a guy that can play the position. You had some of these other guys that could play. I just, like I said, I don't get like how OKC, when you have some of the guys on the bench that you have. Now I know what's his name, Jalen Williams was out. He wasn't there last night. I just don't get it. Like I said, some of the matchups that you saw at the end of the game, it doesn't make any. Like I said, you had two guys. Think about it. You had Durant and Sengun out there, and I get the size of these guys, but you had Caruso and Dort guarding them. And what I'm saying is, one of the points I'm trying to make here is like, this is what I'm saying. Like, this is the most skilled in the greatest era of all time. They knocked some of these other guys, and Kevin Durant was having a hard time against Lou Dort. But you're telling me he would be cooking up Scottie Pippen or some of these other elite defenders that, I come on, man. It's I don't see it.
Eric P says the Rockets paid for KD and now they want a refund. I got to tell you, we're talking specifically about players that didn't look good. I didn't think either team looked very good with the Lakers or the Warriors, but the Warriors made more threes. And because I know they won. I didn't think they looked that good. It was just a matter of, thank God, more of their threes went in. And to that point, that's not the type of basketball that gets us excited, or at least not me. It's just like, well, maybe this time down the court, the 3-point chuck is going to go in the hoop. Can I see something else? And don't get me wrong. I know the Warriors move the ball. I know everyone to some extent moves the ball. But by far and large, it just felt like, well, which team's going to make their shots? And the Warriors took 40 and the Lakers took 30 some.
I mean,
what'd you say? The other game they missed 60?
Combined, they missed over 60 3-pointers. Combined, they shot, I believe, 91, and they combined to make, I want to say, 27 of 91 or something like that. So they missed over 60 threes in that game. So you mentioned the Warriors game, and the Lakers. You talked about, you didn't think the Warriors looked that great. There's one thing we have to understand. All right, number one, we get it. It's opening night. It's one game. All right, we understand all of this. The problem for someone like Kevin Durant in particular on opening night was all of these things happened one night. There's a lot of stuff. And like I said, this man was calling timeouts. He's missing free throws. He's fouling out of games. He's not taking that many shots. He didn't look good on defense like that. I mean, it's just a bunch of things for Kevin Durant. The Rockets don't have a point guard, it looked like to me. They had Amon Thompson run the point. So the Rockets got issues, man. They got some issues. It's one game, but we can see the issues for them. When you talk about the Warriors and we think about the Lakers, the one thing about the Warriors that I noticed, and I talk about the Lakers, and I didn't watch, I watched some film on it. I watched some highlights and some other stuff I saw people put out. So I didn't watch the actual games, but I watched enough stuff to look at and know some things. The Warriors' assists to their turnovers, even though they had a lot of, quote unquote, a lot of turnovers, they still had a good amount of assists to those turnovers. I believe it was like 28 to 19, I want to say. As opposed to the Lakers, it was 23 to 18. 28 to 18. And I believe the Lakers had 23 assists to 19 turnovers. So when you think about that kind of correlation, on top of they were being out-rebounded, the Golden State Warriors, I think, had 9 offensive rebounds, which is not good. But the Lakers had 7. They had seven offensive rebounds. And when I
Yeah.
talk about Luka Doncic sometimes, and people be like, oh, Luka Doncic put up 43 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists, sensational numbers for Luka Doncic. But the man had 0 offensive rebounds. 0. So when you talk about having 12 rebounds, think about Kevin Durant. I mentioned this earlier. Kevin Durant, 9 rebounds. Okay. 0 offensive rebounds. 47 minutes on the court, 6'11", 7'6" wingspan. You have 0 offensive rebounds, even though I just mentioned there were over 60 threes missed. You didn't get an offensive rebound of all those threes that were going up that your team missed. I mean, it's insane when you think about this kind of stuff. That's not having the impact like that.
The Thunder took 52 threes themselves.
I see it right. I said it right. 52. That's uncharacteristic
Wow.
for them. Uncut Hoops mentioned that in his video how last season, I believe the Oklahoma City Thunder, the most threes they shot in a game, I think it was 55 a couple of times and maybe like 52, 53. So what he was highlighting was that was not something that they normally did. They only did like 3 or 4 times last year, shoot over 53s. So I even thought the same thing last night. SGA to me was shooting way more threes than I thought was really part of how he played the game. He shot 9 last night and made 1. So like I said, that's not something he normally does. And like I said, Lou Dort shot 8 threes. Dude, who the hell do you think you are? If Lou Dort is shooting 8 threes, he better have made 7.
So I just want to shout out Gary Payton II, my favorite player on the Warriors. Little dude coming in, dunking, blocking. Warriors threw a lob to him. I don't know how DeAndre Ayton allows that to happen, but that's not who you should be throwing a lob to and getting away with it. Ayton, I got to tell you, Ayton looked unenthused is the word I'll use. Just not much spring in his step.
He looked like ass. Just say it. He looked like ass. He looked like ass, man. This man played 37 minutes and scored 10 points and had 6 rebounds. How do you play 37 minutes of an NBA game at 7 feet tall and you grab 6 rebounds? 6 rebounds. Luka Doncic had 12 and you grab 6. He had 4 turnovers in this game and 0 assists. How the hell do you turn the ball over 4 times and have 0 assists? My man, what are you doing out there? This is DeAndre Ayton. And remember, it's only going to get worse when LeBron James comes back for him. Shout out to Uncle Hoops.
Yeah, on Sunday, when we first heard about Kevin Durant's stupid comments, what was the first thing I said? Oh, Uncut, here you go. Do a video on this. And he was probably going to anyway, but I'll pretend that he heard me. But good work. He's done 2 videos on Durant since that time.
Yo, I told you, I just finished watching his video not that long ago today. So shout out to Uncut Hoops, man. He said next week Jordan's going to sound off on load management. Hope he doesn't hold back. Yeah, see, it's going to be interesting to hear comments from Michael Jordan. What kind of perspective he's going to give on a topic like load management, because we all know how that's hurt the game and how that's been, like I said, people have underappreciated the guys back in the day showing up for 82 games. Like I said, back in the day, it was a badge of honor. And it wasn't about those guys always being there for 82 games, but it was the fact that they wanted to be there as often as they could.
I see one person voted for Jake LaRavia. Were you aware of Jake LaRavia at all before this season? I have to admit that I was not.
Nah, he was a name on the roster. I saw his name on the roster, but I did not know his game or what kind of impact he was going to have. So like I said, we still don't know.
LeBum choked in the finals votes for pods all day, every day. Well, just based on your username, I'll give you the nod.
Yes. That's so funny right there. I love that. That's great. Throw right back at the LeBron James fans with their, their weird channel names. The sports and fitness rants hater. So someone once told me, I saw people they're talking trash about me in the comments of some of my videos, and somebody said that I was like, oh man, sports and fitness rants is just sensitive and blah 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 and all this stuff and I'm thinking in my mind, like, how am I sensitive when I have people making channels with my face? I don't report people. I don't block these people from the chats. How am I sensitive? I let these people do what they want to do. I told you, all this does is allow me to have material. I have an entire playlist because of these fools.
So Carrie Patterson is bringing it back to the topic we opened up with, and I don't think we really worded it quite this way. We touched on it, but she says, or he says, if anyone can slide and raise hands to defend, he really isn't as good as he says. Hypocrisy for sure. Just anyone can't do that to guard MJ or Kobe. But I don't think there's a problem when people are too excited to talk in front of a camera because they don't think about what they're saying. Like, does he not understand that he's literally downplaying the entire NBA? Oh, anyone can do this. Anyone can do defense. So, I mean, do you hear what you're saying? Anyone can do the defensive side of the ball. Yeah.
No, I mean that's a great point though, because that's what it is. It's hypocrisy. Like he mentioned in that super chat. Shout out to Carrie Patterson for coming through. When you think about what they said right there, that makes perfect sense. When you talk about these guys, anyone could come out there and slide their feet. This is what they've regulated defense to now. So, like he said, it actually exposes how skilled these guys really are. And that's what we, the true fans, have said. You're not as skilled when the standards have been lowered. The defensive standards are lowered now. Defense is all about just nothing now. Exactly. Oh, just bend your knees and slide your feet. That's all defense is to someone like Kevin Durant, because that's all they allow these guys to essentially do. Back in the day, defense was an art, man. It was an art form. You had guys, that's why I said you're slapping in the face the great defensive players, the Dennis Rodmans, the Bill Russells, the Hakeem Olajuwons, the Mutombos. These guys made their names being great defensive players, having signature defensive moves. Yeah, this guy was wagging the finger at people. Gary Payne's nickname is the glove. That's what these guys made their claim as. And you're going to sit there and say all they did was bend their knees and let it be. No, it was an art form to those guys. It was an impact. Scottie Pippen impacts games, right? Michael Jordan, Tim Duncan, the Kevin Garnetts. These guys impact in the game. On the defensive end, man, there's an art form. There's skill to this stuff, and it requires effort above all. It's not easy to do. It's not sexy. It's not where you're going to become, a name now. So they said they've gotten rid of that aspect of defense where back in the day, guys who earned it on the offensive end, you earned it because you were going against guys who gave the effort on the defensive end and it mattered to them.
Let's see if you can keep up with Kevin Durant's logic as I try and leapfrog through it. At one point in time, he says fans shouldn't comment on the game because they don't even play. You don't do what we do. Today, he's saying anyone could do what we do. And then he has also gone so far with the blame game as to say, well, you guys impact how we play because, of course, you're part of the game and how you treat us affects how we play. I mean, he's got all of the bases of excuses covered, doesn't he?
Absolutely.
God damn, that's embarrassing. I'm very sad if people don't understand how embarrassing it is for a grown man to speak that way. It's everyone else's fault, no matter what.
Right.
And you can directly contradict yourself without any consequences. Doesn't matter if what I just said doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Just go with it. And put some dramatic fucking music behind it, Netflix. And, let's promote these dipshits.
Absolutely. And what's funny too is that someone like Kevin Durant, in these moments that you're talking about, these people are not educating anybody. He's mentioning defense and just that one aspect. That's not just how you break down defense. Like I said, how dismissive are you? You're not even educating. What about the kids out there watching? They hear Kevin Durant say this. They go out there in the basketball court. They ain't going to play no D. They think D is just sliding feet and bending knees when they don't even realize there's other aspects of defense, like help defense, like team defense, like rebounding, which is part of defense. So once again, if you don't rebound, how are you going to get the ball back after the other team shoots? That's how you close out defense. That's what's called defensive rebounds. I mean, it's like I said, it really is weird to me how these are supposed to be the great players, and they don't even seem to really care to try to just educate and give you a picture of how basketball works.
Will you read the super on the screen?
Absolutely. Shout out to my man AR23, always coming through. LeBron not cheering for his teammates during a late run had me rolling. What a soft, sensitive excuse for a man. He was stone-faced on the bench. I believe it.
Yeah, and they did make a run.
I believe it. Like I said, if I was watching that game, I would have been interested to see what he was doing. Was he coaching from the sideline too? Was he pointing at guys? Hey, you go over there. Hey, yo, hey, AR, you go over in the corner. Yeah, go to the corner. Yo, Luka, you hit AR on come off the curl. Come off the curl. Yeah, that's what was he doing that?
Dana, I agree. GP2 is more mad athletic than his father. That guy gets off the ground fast. He's got fast hops, and he talks mad crap to the other players. Yeah, he's not afraid of the big dudes. You gotta whether you enjoy shit talking or not, you have to acknowledge that GP2 is not afraid.
Yeah, for real. Shout out to the Paytons.
Shout out to the Paytons. Xavier de God says, if LeBron was 0-10 in the finals, do you think his fangirls would still call him the greatest of all time? Depends on what the media told them to think. If the media still went with it, then they would go with it. They have no fucking idea what reality is. So honestly, whatever the media tells them to think, they'll think.
Yeah, I mean, I think the classic LeBron James fan, go to in these scenarios, the losses in the finals, it's all about the competition for them. So if he was 0-10, that would just mean that he faced the 10 greatest teams of all time in the finals. That's why he lost. It's really funny to me that they'll say that, losing in the finals is better, or we'll say that losing in the first round is better than the finals when no one's ever said that. But they'll try to say that, look, Michael Jordan lost in the first round, but LeBron James lost the finals, and they want to laugh at LeBron James. You guys are not understanding anything here. You guys, once again, are not looking at reality and understanding why LeBron James lost. You guys want to talk about LeBron James and the teams that he played against were the great teams of all time, and he ain't had no help. That's why he lost. It's laughable.
SNFR. We need another LeBron fans say weird things video.
Yo, Callie Young, shout out to you. I was thinking about dropping one this week. I was thinking maybe Friday, because I think Friday's a good time. Like my man Uncommon Sense always says, Fanboy Fridays. I was thinking about maybe hitting you guys this Friday, so it's funny that you brought that up. Shout out to you.
Let's see. I just had a super here. Oh, I wanted to talk about Draymond. Someone talked about Draymond. It's hard. He got in. I was watching Jared Vanderbilt and Draymond go at it a little bit, and they said Jared Vanderbilt's their plan for him is to rile people up and play some tough D. Jared Vanderbilt is not a small dude. I think everyone thinks that he's small. That guy's not small. And as volatile as Draymond Green is, if these teams were to meet in the playoffs, I think Jared Vanderbilt will get him kicked out of a game.
Yeah, was he like 6'8" or something like that?
Yeah, and I know his arms are long, and he doesn't have like a huge frame, but he's yoked for a thin dude.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think he has, like you said, that body type. He has that like to me, like a small forward, like a really nice athletic look. Like you said, he looks like he can impact the game on both sides. He's known, and he was being touted for his defensive prowess because he said his long arms and the way he could move. If he could develop offensive, see, the problem for a lot of these guys, like we mentioned, is that when you're playing on a LeBron James team, I really doubt, the development or the focus on the development of a lot of the guys around it. You just don't get it like that. I feel like think about Rui Hachimura last night. Even Rui Hachimura, he's a pretty good sized dude, man. He's not small. His frame,
Absolutely.
He's a good sized dude. But even Rui Hachimura, to me, like, he seems to never, like, you said something earlier about DeAndre Ayton. You said that he didn't look like, I can't remember the word you used, but you said like he was almost like disinterested or something like that. Like he didn't look like enthusiastic or, he didn't look excited. Remember Eddie Murphy and Coming to America? I'm very excited to be here. Like DeAndre Ayton doesn't look excited to be there. Like to me, there's no genuine joy playing on a LeBron James team. When you think about that, and when you think about some of these guys, the Rui Hachimuras, the Vanderbilts, the Austin, the role players, their mindset and how they feel is very important for them to be effective. we talk about, giving the ball to the big man when he runs the floor. You got to make the big man feel good. You got to make him feel involved. This is why the Chicago Bulls oftentimes would go to someone like a Bill Cartwright early in games. You get him going early. You get him involved. You get him feeling good. He'll come out there and move his big body around. He'll feel good about getting up and down the court. He'll take a charge maybe. He'll block a shot. He'll set a good screen for you. He'll be there. You got your teammates good. When you on somebody, these guys, like you said, they look like, So one day they look nice. The other day they look like, they're going through the motions. It's weird.
Kerry Patterson, go ahead, read that. I think that's for you.
Yeah, shout out once again for coming through. Swanson Fitness Rants, these guys are about their shooting percentage. If the shot isn't ideal, KD's not shooting it. That's why he looks so passive so often, but his stat sheet stays pretty. Absolutely. Shout out to Kerry Patterson on the money right there. That's why I'm telling you, when I think about the greatest scorers in NBA's history, I'm not putting Kevin Durant in the top 3, top 5 guys because of his lack of mindset. He won't want to mess his shooting percentages up. He don't want to be inefficient. Sometimes you got to go out there and just do it.
He went 0 for 4 from 3 last night and still ended with 56% shooting.
Yup.
The real
shots. He took the third amount. I think took the third amount of shots on the team. Like I said, Amen Thompson took more shots than you. That's ridiculous. You're Kevin Durant. If not there to put up 30 every night, what the hell are you there for? What you there to do?
Yeah.
They got Steven Adams out there. They got Alperen Sengun out there. You got Amen Thompson. You have guys out there to do other things. You're out there just to put up 30. Put up 30 every night, dude. Put it up. It's about making shots. That's why you work on your game, he said.
Out of his own mouth. Apparently, offense is what matters, so you better bring it. Real Siberius. Remember the old saying, offense wins championships. Yeah, that good old classic.
Yep.
I thought about that as soon as I heard this dipshit Kevin Durant. Yeah.
Ask Vince Lombardi about that.
Yeah, exactly. Where do they think these sayings, defense wins championships, come from? From idiots? From people that weren't worth quoting? I mean, back in the day, quotes only stuck if they were worth sticking. Now we're gonna have Kevin Durant quotes.
Yep, exactly. Think about someone like the Spurs with Tim Duncan. They were a top-notch defense for like 15 straight seasons, man. That's why they were winning, because their defense was stout year after year after year. It didn't matter the complementary pieces you brought in and around their core group of players. They had their system in place, and you had a great defensive anchor there all those years. The Chicago Bulls in the 90s, Michael Jordan, the Bulls weren't outscoring teams like that just because they were just great on offense. They were locking teams up. When they were going against some of these ugly defensive teams, like the New York Knicks, like the Miami Heat, they had a low-scoring game some of these games. The Indiana Pacers, you had to play lockdown D. It came down to stops at the end of those games. Stops. That's how you win. That's how you build a dynasty, man.
So King's Speech isn't impressed with Vanderbilt or Ayton, but he says Ayton will end up being the scapegoat. I mean, there's one reason to have brought him in.
Absolutely will be. He's an easy scapegoat because he's DeAndre Ayton. Like I said, to me, this was a laughable move not because of DeAndre Ayton, but with the way that they were trying to make it seem. Remember, Kendrick Perkins was hyping DeAndre Ayton and the Marcus Smart move up. He was hyping them up. Remember, he said that he wouldn't be surprised if they were in the Western Conference Finals. So, I mean, it's just crazy.
And, we talk about accountability on here. If Ayton doesn't want to be that much of a scapegoat, he should up his game because he's making it easy. He's making it easy to blame him. Maybe he truly doesn't care, but he's getting a paycheck and he gets to live in LA. Maybe that's all he fucking cares about. People theorize all the time that today's NBA players don't actually love the game.
That's another great point you brought up. AOH, you're living in LA now. I've never been out there. I've always wanted to go to California, Los Angeles specifically, just go to the beach and just check out some of the sites. But when you talk about living in some of these environments, like you said, some of these guys, they're not even focused. It's no big deal. Like I said, they don't even look happy to be there. Do they really love the game? And DeAndre, and I say it again, played 37 minutes last night. All right. And he scored 10 points and had 6 rebounds. All right. That's not going to get it done. You're the starting center in the NBA for the LA Lakers. The LA Lakers. And you come out and play 37 minutes. I'm going to say it again. And score 10 points and get 6 rebounds. You have 4 turnovers, 1 block, and no assists. That's what you did out there. That's pretty damn bad, man.
Could make the trophy. Says the guy with how many scoring titles? Does Kevin Durant not have any scoring titles? He's got to have one.
Kevin Durant has 4. He has 4 scoring titles. Listen,
what's Go Fly talking about?
Is a shot maker. That's what he does. The problem with his comments is that NBA basketball at the highest level is not only about making shots, because in certain moments and sometimes in games, I've mentioned this before in some of my videos, you can't always fall back on your shot making. We've all seen the great players miss shots. That's why I was highlighting in the 2016 Western Conference Finals. In those moments, in the game 5, in the game 6, in the game 7, they were not making those shots at the volume they needed to. They needed stops. They needed to play defense in those moments. You can always fall back on your defense. That's what the great teams do. Michael Jordan's not always... I mean, think about a lot of those look at the championships. They played D. They didn't fall back on their scoring. I mean, my God, for them people to think that all of these teams that are winning championships was just them outscoring people. I mean, hell, Bill Russell and the Celtics were an elite level defensive team. When you talk about him and a John Havlicek, I mean, come on, man. When you talk about some of the Boston Celtics in 1986, they were the number 1 defensive team. The number 1 defensive team. All right? I mean, you have to play D.
Anyone want to complain about Austin Reeves? Because he is, he's another whiner. But I'm complaining that he got to the rim as many times as he did. What is the verdict? People, do we think Austin Reeves is good or do we not? Because the son of a bitch, if he's not good, sure gets to the rim against people more times than he should.
I feel like Austin Reeves is a bootleg Rex Chapman. I feel like he, or maybe like a Bob Sura. He's one of those kinds of guys where you saw some flashes. Shout out to Rex Chapman and Bob Sura. Rex Chapman was a straight up a pro's pro, man. He was a dog, Rex Chapman. So shout out to him. He go to home, throw it down on you. But to me, he has some game. Austin Reeves. Remember, Stephen A. Smith was calling Austin Reeves arguably the best third option in the NBA last season. Mm-hmm. I made a video and said that's laughable, and I named several other players to me that were better third options than Austin Reeves. But the things that he's been able to do, the flashes that he's shown, can't be denied.
Yeah.
And like you said, he does go out there and flop it up and draw a lot of fouls, man.
And
see, AOH, when we talk about the standard being lower today, and we're talking about someone like Austin Reeves, let's say, and I say that, yeah, he's got some game, he shows some flash, he's able to do these kinds of things, even though he may not have like the skills or, the crazy game like that. In this era, because of the officiating standard, the lack of defensive emphasis, right? So defensive guys are at a disadvantage now. Whereas in other eras, they were at the advantage a lot of times with the hand-checking rules and the ability to play physical and hard-nosed defense. Now Austin Reeves can appear to be better. That's why I say it's like a bootleg Rex Chapman or some of these other guys, because someone like Rex Chapman, he was doing this in the 90s, man. Like I said, the flashes that Rex Chapman showed in his game, to me, would be much greater in this era. We say this a lot of time for a lot of these guys.
It's opening. It's our first show after opening night. You want to take calls or you need to bounce?
I got about 15, 20 minutes, so let's take a call, man. Let's do it.
All righty. Let me get it up there. No comments on what I just said.
And that's no shout out to Rex Chapman, man. Once again, no disrespect to Rex Chapman, because like I said, he was a true dog out there, man. He was a baller. That's why he's a bootleg Rex Chapman.
So my girlfriend asked me before the game started if the Lakers had a chance, and I said, yeah, well, LeBron's not playing, so absolutely they have a chance.
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely.
How much of that game did you watch?
Which one?
The second game, the Warriors-Lakers.
Well, like I said, I watched a lot of video footage, through YouTube, some game footage. I watched a bunch of
Here
highlights.
again.
So,
King Speech,
All
did
right,
you watch?
guys, can you hear me?
yes, sir.
Yeah. Did you watch the Warriors-Lakers? King Speech?
Yeah. Okay. I can't hear you guys, but I can speak.
Go
I
ahead.
get all right. So yeah, the Lakers are horrible. I was unimpressed. Luka was out there carrying them. I mean, like I'm Ayton. This is the first time I really watched Ayton play. Like since he was in college, right? His defensive instincts are horrible. He's soft as a puppy. He's soft as a. I mean, yeah, the idea that he was going to fix. I mean, I know he's an upgrade from Jackson Hayes, but at least Jackson Hayes hustles. Like, I mean, the Lakers are not making the playoffs. I've said it all summer.
It's one
I've
game.
said it since July 1st, since they got Jake LaRavia and started high-fiving in the rafters.
All right.
Okay, so can you tell me? Can you tell me about Jake LaRavia?
Like that.
Anything?
Yeah, man, this team is not good. Austin Reeves had the worst 26-point game I ever seen. Like, he had 5 points in garbage time. Hit that one little three to end one, and then another layup. I mean, bro, Luka needs help. And the idea that 41-year-old LeBron, who doesn't hustle, who doesn't run, Gabe Vincent. What the hell was JJ Redick doing putting Gabe Vincent on Jimmy? Jimmy was looking like you ever put a 12-year-old on you?
Crazy.
And you're just like, fuck it, I want to win this game. I'm just gonna score every time. That was Jimmy last night, man.
We should spend some time. We should spend some time shitting.
Yeah,
on,
man.
JJ's
that's all I wanted to say. Shout out to you guys, man. Shout out to Siberians, Big Zugs, all you cats, man. Yeah, I'm gonna listen to you guys because I can't hear it from this app. From this site.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for calling in, King Speech. Yeah, I was gonna have you
keep him rolling.
I was going to have him summarize exactly what went wrong with the Lakers. I want to say something about DeAndre Ayton, though. Have we already forgotten his hype when he was in Phoenix? And that's why he didn't stay in Phoenix, because he was the next great thing. Yep. Boy, things change quickly, don't they? Now we have Andrew. Hello. Can't hear you. I don't even want to.
Can you hear me?
Yes. There we go.
Sweet. No, I won't take too much time, but always love listening to you guys, of course.
Thank you.
And the one thing Kevin Durant doesn't get, and LeBron doesn't get it either, and these new guys don't get it, is because the team, they become the personality of the best player, I think, or they should, and that's why Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, upon other guys, but that's why their teammates are more gritty team, more hustle plays are done. It's like, that's what LeBron doesn't get, and KD either. And why do you think when their teammates and them come up small in big moments, and that's a big thing I never hear about in the mainstream media.
What do you think, Robin?
Yeah, I mean, I agree 100%. I think, go ahead, AOH. I'm like, go ahead, man.
I mean, when you come
money, sometimes I just get so.
Yeah, when you come in with a good point, can you say something? Can you say something dumb like Kevin Durant, so it's easier for us to respond?
I'll try, but don't know if it can happen.
Can you summarize what you think was the biggest problem with the Lakers last night? If you just narrow it down. Did you watch that game?
I didn't know. Sorry.
Okay. Thank you for calling in. Moving on.
Of course. See you guys.
Appreciate it.
Yo, shout out to Andrew for coming through. As always, man.
The youngster, Top Dog, is here.
Yo, what is up, everyone?
Top
21, right?
Wait, what happened?
You're 21, right?
Yes.
Welcome to the show. What do you think about what you heard today and what you watched last night?
Well, I watched the Thunder and actually, I didn't actually watch the full game, but I watched a little bit of the Thunder and Rockets because I had to go to work early this morning, so I couldn't stay up and watch all these games. I don't understand why these games is on so late now. It didn't used to be this way. Like I'm like even like 15 years ago, the games were on earlier. They were on. What is Alex Silver doing? These games on at 3 o'clock in the morning. I just don't understand who's gonna. To me, if only people who's gonna like stay up this late and watch an NBA game, they're not getting any action in the bedroom. I'll just leave it at that.
I do feel bad for East Coast people for sure. Huge difference.
They ain't getting any action in the bedroom if they watching. If you staying up to 4 o'clock in the morning to watch the NBA game, and the product what you watch LeBron James and this old self on the bench trying to be the coach like he
That's it.
always doing. I don't get it, but like I think this is a good season. I think of course they have the '90s element of NBA on NBC. To me personally, I think that it's not going to make the NBA better. It's good because NBA on Disney sucked, but you don't have the announcers for it. Like Bill Walton's no longer here. Marv
Yep.
Albert is old and retired. They don't have Bob Costas, so it's not. You're not going to really. It's not. It's not all the way. You don't have the full package. If you go what I'm saying.
Listen to the young guy dropping names.
Well,
Really?
I kind of still grew up on those names a little bit, so they kind of had a long career. So, but I just don't think it. I don't think it's going to save the NBA. If you ask me, there's too many things wrong with the current product. That it's just too many to name.
Good point. And I'm going to move through people quickly. We'll talk about that for a minute and then let the McZuggins is. I did think these guys are depending on nostalgia, the idea of nostalgia, not really bringing back the past, but just hoping that people are so sick of the present that if they even mimic the past, the nostalgia will be enough to bring in viewers. Unfortunately, you can't actually bring back the old commentators, much less the old players. Let me bring McZuggins is while you respond to what I said and Top Dog. Go ahead, Robin.
No, I think it's interesting. What he mentioned about the times of the games coming on, and at his age, and some of the names he said that he brought up. But let my man McZuggins go ahead, man, do his thing.
McZuggins, what's on your mind?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Super quick, something from way back. We were talking about why we can't have real offenses besides the sort of clutchonomics thing. I just want to throw out something for you guys to discuss compared to back in the day. Do you know that the average lifespan of a coach since 2010 with a team is 2.7 years?
Jesus Christ.
That's across all 30 teams. It's a 2.7 year lifespan if you're the head coach with a team. I think right now this season, the average is now 3.4 because the 2.7 number being that low still included guys like Jerry Sloan was still in there after 2010.
Yeah.
Like it still included the 21 year, like all those. But back in the day, you figure, Lenny Wilkins, right? Chuck Daly, these guys were there for practically for life. But at 2.7 years, and the players are going to talk about feeling disrespected and go on the media and try to get everybody talking about you. How in the world are you ever going to institute anything? Never mind the attitudes of players or wanting to do it or humility or any of that. Just from a coaching perspective, if you have 2.7 years of a precarious position, that's the median. That's not even like the low end. You can be fired in less. How the hell are you going to institute a system?
I want to know how many of those players or coaches are still being paid on previous contracts too, out of everyone.
Oh man, that's one for Jim, but that's a really good question. Anyway, just tossing that out there for y'all to think about. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thanks for popping in and popping out. That makes room for everybody. And I thought about Steve Kerr and Spoelstra as long-term coaches. Who else comes to mind for you?
Popovich was there during that time for a long time. And I'm trying to think like who some of the coaches were. He said since 2010. So I was just trying to think about some of who the coaches may have been. You mentioned Spoelstra. That was a good one to mention. And he's still there in Miami all these years, even though LeBron James wanted him gone a long time ago. You know, it's funny that he brings that up and he says it's 2.7 on average since 2010. And this is when we talk about, when we talk about teams and the lack of continuity for a lot of these teams, the lack of cohesion and consistency. These guys are bouncing around a lot, the players, but also the coaches. I mean, just think about the Lakers and LeBron James. Since he's been there, it's going to be his 8th season in LA, and this is his 4th coach. So on average, that's a new coach every 2 years.
Yeah.
So that's actually under the average that he talked about at 2.7.
Yeah.
So, when you talk about some of these things, think about the New York Knicks. They got rid of Tom Thibodeau, and we wonder, why'd you get rid of him? Some of these coaches get fired for reasons that don't make any sense or for no reason at all.
Rick Carlisle is mentioned, but he hasn't been at one spot. So
he's been at some spots. Like, he was in Indiana for a little bit before he's back there now. He was there in the early 2000s. He was the coach for the Mouse of the Palace, Indiana Pacers team, I believe. He was also, it's funny with Rick Carlisle, if you think about his career, when he was on the Detroit Pistons as their coach, they got rid of him and brought in Larry Brown. They won the championship. When he left the Indiana, or when he was at the Indiana Pacers, to me, they had a legit shot to win a championship. And then they had the Mouse of the Palace kind of derailed them out. And then you think about his time on the Dallas Mavericks, that he was there. Remember, he was there when they lost, what was that, 2010, I believe that was. I can't remember what year. It might have been 2010 when they lost to the Spurs before they won the championship. They lost to the Spurs as the heavy favorite in the first round. So, and then he bounced back and won the championship. But yeah, he's been on some of these teams for a little. He was under the Dallas Mavericks coach for a little bit.
Isaiah, you are on. What is on your mind?
Can y'all hear me?
Hello, I can hear you.
Oh.
Y'all can hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
what's going on, y'all? I've been watching y'all for a good amount of time, man. And AOH, you got a lot of good content. You got a lot of good things to say, especially with the visual proof. My thing is, my biggest point that I've taken away from what LeBron doesn't have is the comparison. When you compare other GOATs in other industries, you realize that these guys are actually good and skilled in their respective areas, like Tom Brady. I hated Tom Brady for a long time. When he was a quarterback, he had a lot of help. I think Gronk was a top 3 tight end of all time. I used to hate him a lot because he won a lot. But then I noticed after he won all of the rings that he got, that he was at Gillette Stadium last year and the crowd had him on the Jumbotron and he wasn't putting the fucking crown on his head. He wasn't doing all the extra shit. He was just waving at the crowd, having a good time. And I was like, well, compare this to LeBron. This is a totally different situation. This guy is going to try and, soak in and milk all the things that he can milk in so he can get an all-caps caption from House of Highlights and say he's the GOAT. But this guy is humble. He got his 7 rings. Yeah, he might have had a lot of help, but he was competitive. He was going at guys. I see this guy yelling at offensive linemen. Maybe he might know the guys will split him up at some point, but he had fire in him. So with all the help that he had, he used it. With LeBron, all the help he has, he finds a way to still lose. With all the visual proof I've watched. And I'm like, damn, he's actually, yeah, okay, you say he's top 2 all time, Stephen A. Add 2 more zeros to that. That's kind of how I see it. So for me, it's crazy to see. And another point that I had was you guys really helped me realize what's going on from the past. Sports and Fitness Rants mentioned a while ago, or maybe a couple lives ago. I don't get to join you guys' lives while you guys are live, but I get to watch after it's pre-recorded and, pick up on some things. Because I'm young. I'm only 24. I'm only here to learn. So from what I've learned is Sports and Fitness Rants mentioned that, yeah, the guys might have been not as skilled as they are allowed to as they are today, but guys like Jerry West and Elgin Baylor and Wilt, they had to make up the moves. They had to create the moves. They weren't the ones inspired by the moves. They were creating them. They were influencing them. And that's what really opened my mind to think, like, this goes back even further. And this makes the comparison for LeBron to every other GOAT in every other industry just night and day. Every other guy at least has some skill. Even if their GOAT status isn't real, they have some skill in their industry, whether it's music or sports. It could be anything. LeBron just doesn't have any of that. He doesn't have the skill. He doesn't have the class. He doesn't have the ability to make it look like he's winning even when he's, not achieving. He doesn't have any of it. That's pretty much all I had to say, though. I hope you guys got to take some points from that, but I appreciate what you guys do, and please keep doing what you're doing, even if you're not getting love.
Appreciate it, Isaiah, and I appreciate the attitude. He said that he is here to learn. So many people don't think they have anything to learn right from the very beginning. And speaking of the very beginning, he brought up an interesting point. How do these early guys not get any credit for being pioneers, like literally having to come up with shit that other people copy and then shit on them? You copied them and then you shit on them. But anyway, thank you for the call, Isaiah. Sports,
No.
I'm sure. I know you want to go. Go off, that is.
That was amazing. That was amazing by Isaiah. Shout out to Isaiah. That was sensational. Absolutely sensational. When you bring those guys up, and you said it, pioneer. That's the key. They are pioneers of this stuff. They couldn't go watch video footage. They couldn't go read a book and watch these guys. They had to go and do this stuff. They were the ones doing it, man. So shout out to him for bringing that up. That is sensational, man. These guys were out there, like I told you, Elgin Baylor was the guy that Dr. J said he was trying to emulate out on the streets when he was a young kid. And then Michael Jordan talked about Dr. J. It's all like that, man. Elgin Baylor, I bring him up all the time because of that. It's a lineage, man. These guys were doing it, man. So shout out to him for bringing that up. And like I said, it means a lot, for real.
Excellent calls, people. And we are tapped out. I went through my entire list. We may not have ranted on each of them quite as long. I've got a few more minutes if you do, or we can end it clean.
Yeah, I got to get rolling. Like I said, I think that was a great way to end it right there. My man, like I said, my man Isaiah coming through, bringing up these guys being pioneers. Like I said, talking about that stuff. I think that was very important. The point that he made, like you said, the age that he is, and the other point that he made about Tom Brady, I thought was excellent. It's not necessarily about Tom Brady and the on-court stats or how you feel about him, but the one thing that I always respect about Tom Brady is I always felt that he was a competitor. I always felt that he was competing. He wanted to compete. He was fiery. You see him on the sidelines sometimes getting crazy, but I always thought he was a competitor. But when he mentioned that when you showed Tom Brady on a jumbotron, he's not doing some stupid king me. He's not doing some celebrate me. I always think about LeBron James in the Olympics, guys. When they showed that dude on the jumbotron, and LeBron James thought they were talking about him, and he stood up like they were talking. Dude, ain't no one talking about you. Stop crowning yourself when ain't no one even celebrating you.
It's not just that. It's bad enough when you think it's about you and it's not. It's that in his brain, he's always in, oh, how can I milk the praise that I'm getting? Not thinking, oh, thank you for acknowledging me. For example, in the Olympics, your country, your team, sport, he gets the gold medal and then he crowned himself on stage. On stage. Anyway, thanks, Rob, and thank you everyone who came through for the supers and for the support. Don't forget to move your memberships over to Patreon as I phase out my membership section. And everybody have a great day, and we will see you soon.